and welcome! My microphone is on. Okay, good. Just checking that I'm not having other technical difficulties. Welcome to the stream. My name is Anna Daviscourt. I'm a children's book illustrator, and I'm going to be animating some stuff in Fresco today. I am having some weird stuff happening. I think that Behance is down for everybody, so we are solely on YouTube. So I'm hoping that this is working and everybody can see me. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Well, in the chat, we've got Alessandra, Robin, and Dark Hours. What's up, everybody? I hope you're having a lovely day. I just got home and I'm wearing my Halloween at Disney shirt, so I'm in the mood for. Oh gosh, I'm sweating. I'm sweating. Don't look. Shh. Nobody acknowledge that bodies do things. Uh, I am so ready for fall, and maybe we'll do a little fall something today. I don't know. Maybe that'll be the thing. The thing is, everyone, I am currently trying to make my online store happen. So, to deck out the website with all sorts of welcoming things, I want to create motion and interesting tidbits. So, what I'm thinking of is making as many things as I can think of that are like fun and welcoming to put on the pages. So, I'll show you the example of what I was thinking of, and then I will jump into making more things. So, we're in Adobe Fresco today. This is usually an iPad program, but today I'm working on desktop. So just to let you know, that's what we're dealing with. And if you have any questions along the way, let me know. This is just the tiniest like 3-frame animation that I made a while back. And I want to kind of use this style to make more things. I believe what we were calling it last time was the boiling line technique. That's where you draw one thing multiple times and it animates, but it's like the same drawing. It's not intended motion. It just creates the effect of like movement. I think this would be slightly different from that just because it's not the line that's moving, it's actually the colors behind it. I just painted it multiple times, which is fun in my opinion because then you get the structure of the drawing but the movement in there to catch the eye. So anyways, that's kind of the goal for today. Robin says, fantastic shirt. Thank you, thank you. I got this. Let's see what it's got here. I'll give you a full shirt tour. Shirt tour time. Halloween party. Oh, Mickey's Halloween party 2018. That's what it says. And also, boo to you. This is very hard to do. Boo to you, everyone. Boo. Happy little Mickey. I am so confused as to where I'm pointing. Frightfully good time. And I want candy. There's 0. Any other call outs that you can think of? There's Minnie at the bottom. Disneyland. Anyways, there's my shirt. It's fun. I love it. I don't think I've worn it on stream very much, but anyways, it's the shirt of the day. What do your guys' shirt looks like? I'm talking. What do your guys' shirts look like if you are wearing one? Share in the Discord. I'm curious if you have anything fun on your shirt. Tell me. Ibrahim's in the chat saying hello, everyone. Hello, how are you? Astro Robin saying I just got spooky pajamas. They make me so happy, and I grabbed some pumpkin before they sell out everywhere. Heck yeah, I love it. I loved. Today I went by a Fred Meyer's, and they had little ceramic pumpkins out front. 'Tis the season, everyone. Do you feel it in thine bones? Jake Green's in the chat. What's up, Jake? Saying, Anna, boo to you, but hooray to see you. Yeah, we're not on Behance today, apparently. Isn't that weird? I feel weird. But, you know, it is what it is. This is what we do. So. What am I doing? I literally just got home like 2 minutes ago, so I'm trying to get my brain in order and kind of like focus on what we're doing, and my brain is still like that. So I'm gonna drink some water and we can chat about what kind of animations we should make. Ooh, Jake says my shirt is like a look like a Boba Fett. My shirt is a look like a Boba Fett. I like the way that's said. Also awesome. Becoming Boba Fett is the goal. Although now I feel like The Mandalorian has kind of become the coolest, so Can I get Beskar on a shirt? Is that okay? Okay, this is the way. What kind of stuff do I want to animate for my site? So, one of the cool things that we're going to try out is to do a soft launch of the store. We're going to make it first available to patrons. So you can become a patron for just $3 a month and then get access to the store. There will also be a discount. There will also be things that are available at the beginning probably won't be available later because I'm kind of getting rid of some of the stock, which means older postcards that I've made for Patreon and stuff like that. So if you've ever if you ever did think, if you've ever thought, oh wow, she's giving this as a Patreon reward, I wish I could just get that without having to be like fulfilling all of the things to get that, because it's only ever been available on Patreon before. Now is the chance, and it might not come again, because my goal is to start making prints of things, and those are going to be bigger, a little bit more expensive, stuff like that. So, oh, Discord, you are loud. I'm sorry if that burned your ears, anyone. But anyways, ooh, there's a show and tell thing. Oh, heck yeah. Jake is sharing the shirt. Here's my shirt, one of my favorite designs from a while back. Oh, that is awesome. I love that art style. Oh. So yes, the most battle-worn Boba Fett, and then it says Bounty Hunter. That's so cool. What's this back here? Is there like a thing that has that design, or is it just for looks? Cool looks. I don't know. But I love it, and it's awesome. Very, very good shirt, Jake. Very good. It's like you're asking for my approval or something. Well, you got it. Even though you weren't. Dark Hours is asking, any idea what happened with Behance? Asking for a friend who's streaming for work later today. Looks like Behance is down. Your friend should get paid anyway. That's what I say. But yeah, I have no idea what technically is going on. But we have our technical support gurus. I think they would have more of an official answer than I do. Probably just wait for it, wait for it, wait. Jake says, I'm here for your brain no matter what state it's in. Thank you. Also agreed. The Mandalorian is my absolute favorite. I think it's just for cool looks. Oh yeah. Oh, the design. Oh yeah. It's achieving the cool looks. I like it very much. Alex Blazart, what's up? Saying hello. How are you? Alessandra says, I'm on an amazing vacation having some margaritas. Can we join you? Hot dang. That sounds nice. Also, congratulations on being on vacation. Everybody take a vacation. Be more like Alessandra. Okay, so once again, website animations, we are making some. So when we say that we're having a secret shop for the patrons, do we have an animation on the page to welcome them and say, shh, it's a secret shop? Also, actually, we could have animations that say something like, here are stickers and here are postcards, because those are going to be two of my first offerings. There's going to be more stuff along the way. I actually just ordered my first set of prints. They're a test run, so I don't know if these will be the official prints that I start getting, but it is very exciting, and they are large. There was a fly in my face. Thanks for that, fly. How dare you? Anyways, so we are going to put a list. A list is a good idea. Everybody who has frazzled brain, raise your hands. Now make a list. Okay, so we're going to say secret shop. And these are like a list of gifts that we can make. Secret shop gif, sticker gif. And I'm doing these as more options, not necessarily that I have to do all of them. Postcard. Another one could be maybe an FAQ page. By the way, pop quiz. I know you aren't expecting it. That's why it's a pop quiz. What does FAQ stand for? Just in your mind. You don't have to look it up. I just want your first impression of what it stands for. Because I've always had something in my brain that it stood for, and Anthony kept saying something that it was not in my brain as. So I'm just very curious what you guys have in your brain. Okay, so if I'm thinking of all of these, oh, also I want to make a mailing list. So when a mailing list pop-up comes up, you can have like a header on it. So that could also be one. So I'm going to do mailing list. Mailing list. You guys are all on the same page as me, okay? We all say frequently asked questions on lock, right? That's what it's in your brain as, and that's what it always shall be, right? Anthony said facts and questions. Facts and questions. Jake says, now I'm trying to think of what Anthony would have said. I was very confused. Dark Hour says, we do smart. You know, you are very smart. Very smart indeed. Okay, so what I want to do, I think, is the mailing list one first, because that'll at least incentivize me to make the mailing list. One quick second. I'm going to go back here so that I can not show any client work while I am saving out, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let me show you what I thought of as like a first concept for my mailing list page. And it is very rough, so please don't quote me on this as a thing. Dark Hour says facts and questions. What? Jake Green says interesting. Dark Hour says no, not allowed. Are you telling your brain not to absorb that information? Don't put that in there. Robin says FAQ. You just say it like facts, but in a cool way. Exactly, like it's a fact. It's a fact. Everybody knows the fact. Alex says, Anthony is wrong, right? Doubt everything you thought you knew. That's how I felt. Okay, so this is the super rough animation. I don't like it. I don't like many things about it. So let's work on it. Let's talk about what this was supposed to be, because you're probably confused. Okay, so what my idea was is 2 bundles of bushes, which I kind of like that idea still. I don't know if I would stick with the dark background. I think I might have something different. And then the idea was between the bushes, a little acorn rolls out of one and into the other. Or it could just roll out, and I was thinking maybe like having a paw or something come out of the bush and just grab it back in. I thought that would be cute. Now that's more motion than I'm used to, so who knows if I could pull it off. However, I think we should always reach for the stars, right? Reach for the stars. Robin says, hee hee hee. Ibrahim says, I thought you said fart and question. Who did that? What's the meaning of life? Why? That's what happens every time somebody farts. Robin says, dragon behind the bushes? It was gonna be like a feisty cat of some sort, I think, but honestly, it could be anything. I like the idea of dragons, as always, just as a blanket statement. I like the idea of dragons. Dark Hour says, do you want to keep the background white so that they never have a border? I am questioning this because let me show you one of the inspo websites that I'm looking at for this one, if I can. Oh, it was on the okay, so Anthony made a Pinterest board solely for looking at shops. It's called Cute Online Shop. So we've got a ton of inspiration for different things here, and this one is the newsletter inspiration. I really love this one. I think this was it Owly Jules? Oh, it's Britt Wilson. Britt Wilson, of course. So not only did we love the design of this, but also the wording. It's very cute. Let me read it to you. Why, yes, I'd like to know what you're up to, Britt Wilson. You're squirrely and hard to pin down. And then at the bottom it says, I promise not to spam you, and occasionally I'll forget this newsletter exists entirely. I just feel every bit of that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking along the lines. Very good inspiration. And then this banner across the top, this is what I'm thinking of. So it's not necessarily that it needs to disappear into the page, because it's not going to be seamless anyway. So I might as well fill this with something. Also, just these cat's expressions. Britt Wilson is brilliant. If you do not know her work, definitely go check it out. It is amazing, and you will be very glad you did. And so yeah, that's the idea I have. It can change. It can live in many places. That's kind of the beauty of doing these animations, I guess. What are they called? GIFs. I'm going to call them GIFs. I'm making GIFs for you. It's not a gift. It's a GIF. Just for you. Like a little present. That's why they call it the GIF. So anyways, yeah, the idea of this being borderless is not necessary for this one at least. And if I really don't if I just want to make stuff that I like. I will find homes for it regardless. I want it to be something that people like looking at. That's the most important part. Jake says, reach for the stars, or at least an acorn. Abraham says, is it going to be exported as GIF? Yes, I've been exporting these as a GIF. There are two options in Fresco. It's either MOV file or GIF. And GIF just works best on websites and things because it's a low file size. You upload it, it loops endlessly. It just works. Hey, Infinity, what's up? Saying, I like that. It also fits me because I never remember to do the newsletter thing. Lol. Exactly. I assume that I am going to forget about the newsletter many times, and it will not be spammy at all because of that. Alex says, that pop-up design is just very generic one on MailChimp. Super easy to set up. Awesome. Yes. So that's one of those things that we are looking into, trying to build a newsletter, which there's a lot that's going into this store that's kind of like invisible work, and I hope it pays off. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so I think I don't like this acorn, I don't like the cat, and I don't like the background, so I'm just gonna delete all of it. Okay. This was the original like sketch or whatever. Sketchers is the S. Delete. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is sketch something new. We're going to just kind of figure out this concept together. This is a true artist's working process in real time, so bear with me. So I'm thinking maybe we just do like the bushes are up top and they still move in that boiling line technique kind of way where like I just draw them several times so that they have motion to them. And then out of the bush, kind of off center, we have acorn appear here. Should it be top pointed away from us? I'm not sure. I want it to be more laying down, so I think I'll do... Yeah, we'll do like a side view of it. This idea came about because my niece actually picked up an acorn at the park near us, and she was like, baby! And I thought, acorns are just the cutest things, so why don't I integrate them more in my artwork? And here it is. Actually, I want it to point more like kind of like a top or something. Like I want it to have an axis where it kind of spins along this area of its center of weight. So then it would roll in. Oh, sorry, wrong brush. Rolling. Keep that thingy rolling. Kind of like that. Wah. Okay, you with me here? You with me? Okay, cool. So it's rolling this way. Then out of the bush, there's like maybe a pause here where it's like, okay, it rolls, pause, and then pause. Ah, how cute. Okay, so the paw's gonna come out of the bush and it's gonna be like a little something at first, and we're gonna have like leaves, so it'll be coming out of the leaves, and then maybe it'll be like one of those, what do they call them, wipe frames, I believe they're called. It's where the motion of something overtakes the form of it, basically. So instead of showing like an arm moving from side to side to make it feel fast, it's like arm, and then the middle frame is just like lines, basically, or like the arm comes apart. I don't know how to describe this very well, but you've seen it in plenty of animations, I promise you. If you look at the still images throughout an animation, you'll see that the form can like completely change in form. And it makes things look so much faster, or like the movement is more fluid, that kind of stuff. Smear frame is what Jake says, so I believe it. Dark Hour says, now that's on being self-aware. Love it. Infinity says, "Hi Jake. Also, this is Dina Dice. I forgot YouTube says the screen name." Yes. Hey Dina, what's up? Thank you for hopping over to YouTube. Sorry that we had kerfuffle with Behance today. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, and I'm glad to be here. So, thanks for being here with me. So, anyways, Paw comes out. Paw is just a little out. And then Paw is big out, and then Paw is overtaking our acorn. Maybe we need a bigger Paw overall. Maybe something like that. Oh, my hand is sticking so hardcore to the tablet. You know what that calls for? My handy dandy half glove. Alessandra says, what are you making today? This is a animation GIF for the website, my shop that I'm making. And then, after, oh golly, every time I press brush, it goes back to this one. I wish I could reorder my favorites. Maybe I just take the graphite out of here temporarily. Oh, wait, what? I am going insane? I don't even know what's going on. Okay, favorites. There we go. Pencil. So then, after we have the Paw come out, we're going to have it drag the acorn back in. So it's basically just going to be paw press. I'm just going to draw it over here. Maybe the paw presses down so it feels like there's weight on it a little bit. And then it just drags it back. Does that make sense? And disappears into the bush. And then we have a slight pause where pause again. Okay, and then we have a slight pause where the bushes are still just animating, and then the acorn starts over again where it like comes out, and then the Paw comes out and gets it, and it's a repeat. Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? Yeah. Okay, I think that's a plan. I don't know if it's the plan, but we are just going to roll with it. So to start this, I'm gonna just turn off the bushes for now, and I'm gonna work on the very rough idea of the acorn. So in this case, I do want the rake for it, I think, just to have... I think what I want to do is plan out the how many frames it's gonna be first, and then I can make sure it looks good and everything later. Alright, let's see how this looks. Okay, 4 frames. We can slow it down, of course. And these don't need to be super seamless or anything for me. Where did my phone go? I felt it, or I heard it go. I think it's in my purse. One sec. There you are. Haha. Okay, so you know what's awesome? By the way, you guys, did you hear the news about loan forgiveness? Now, I have not seen the... Oh, well, actually, I did. I looked up some of the official stuff for it, but I was busy today, so I didn't get, like, super deep into it. So let me know if you guys know more in-depth stuff about it. But what I'm seeing is that most people are going to get, like, up to $10,000 forgiven, which is amazing. I know that it could always be more, but I am also very happy that it's anything. Always so happy. Oh my gosh. Did you guys hear that, by the way? I just want to know if everybody's heard this news, because I want to hype it up a lot more if you haven't. Because it's amazing. I think I want at least one more frame in there. I'm gonna just move this frame, transform. I'm just gonna zhuzh the layers a little bit closer at the mo. Actually, no, I'm just gonna... That's dumb. Whoa, why does that one have all the drawings on it? That's so weird. Oh, it didn't. Okay. It was lying to me. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm fine with it lying to me. Maybe if we have one extra frame between these two and then a little bit more distance in the middle one, then it will be like a slow, or what do they call it? They taper off at the ends where it's like slow to start, slow to finish. Let's see. Jake said, I had not heard it. Today has been rough. Well, this is great news, Jake. I hope it helps the rough day. Infinity says, loan forgiveness for just student loans? Where'd you hear it? I hear stuff that's spam a lot, but nothing legit yet. Let's see. Alessandra says, I saw it was 20K, up to 20K for Pell Grant recipients. Yes, so if you got a Pell Grant in the past, there is possibility that you could qualify for $20,000. Now, this is all, again, like allegedly until I see more information on it, but I think that this is official. I really hope it is because I don't want to get your guys' hopes up. But yeah, I quickly looked up a article about it because my mom was texting saying that she would also get help with hers because there are things called Parent Plus loans where your parents took on loans for the student, and it's just, that's amazing. That is so amazing. Jake says, also, I bet it won't apply to me because my loans have been bought and sold between multiple companies because of my struggles with them over the years, which is ironic. I don't know. See, this is where, like, there are individual cases of things, but I feel like the whole point of this is to lighten the load of everybody with student loans because it's really depressing the economy. And also predatory lending. It has been a thing. Alex says they had a White House press conference about it on the White House website. There's all the info. Thank you. Okay, good. Infinity says, oh, I wonder if I could apply that for my daughter to go to college. So there's also info about future stuff in there. So you should definitely check out all the news about it just to get the good info. Jake says, I sure hope so. I need to look into it. Please do. Please do. I think everybody should look into it. This is like huge, amazing news. Never before have I known something to be just good news. Please, more good news. Okay. I think that works, at least for now. Maybe I'll make it go a little bit faster. Yeah, and then we could have a pause. So I'm thinking this is 5 frames. Let's add another blank 5 frames just to add an equal amount of pause. Okay. And then we have 10 frames that we're working with. It'll probably be like 20 at the end, I imagine, because then I want the cat to come out. I wonder how many frames that should be. Let's start a new layer for the cat's paw. I'm gonna make the cat... What color should it be? Let's make it gray. I had a gray kitty, so I always want to make the cats gray. They're so hard to paint, though. My goodness, a gray cat. Alright, so first, actually, we're going to need some blank layers. So the acorn layer takes place on frame 1 through 5. Then we have 5 blank frames. So we want all of that. So we're going to take 10 blank frames to start the cat animation. And then we're going to start working on it. Okay, so now I'm going to do layer 11. Actually, we're going to go back here real quick and just add some frames because I think it's going to be at least 20 to do this whole thing. So the largest amount of frames on any given layer is how long the whole animation is going to, or the whole GIF is going to be. That's how many frames you're going to have to occupy. Oh, Jake says, if I could find any news I didn't have to pay a subscription for, I'm going to the White House, lol. Yes, as close as you can get to the primary source is a good idea. And also, I'm so annoyed with subscription websites and stuff. Honestly, I was trying to look up one of my grandparents' obituaries and it was behind a paywall. And I'm just like, that should be illegal. Dumb. Alessandra says, I'm going. Who is going with me? To Pennsylvania Avenue. Y'all. I like your gusto. All right, so frame 11, it's coming out. Frame 12, this is going to be a fast one, so it's going to go whoo, and then it'll pause a little bit on its on the actual acorn when it's on it. Does that make sense? I'm going to change the shape a little bit, like it puts its weight down on it. And then, oh yeah, I need to put on onion skinning so that I can see the previous frame a little bit. It drags it back. This is definitely not perfect shaping or anything. I'm just trying it out. Not bad, honestly. All right, let's stop this for a second. We'll turn off this sketch layer. We'll pretend that these are full completely. Let me move all of them, transform. So imagine they're kind of like up here. All right, so. Oh, that's one thing. Okay. During these blank frames, we actually need the acorn to stay there. So what I'm going to do is just... I kind of love it. Oh my gosh, that's cute. All right, I want more of a pause after the paw takes it back, so it's not immediate. But honestly, this worked better than I thought it would be. Okay, so we're gonna add 5 more frames. How about? And then we'll go to the cat one and add 6 more frames because it was at 19. Wait. This one, delete. All right, so we're at 25 on this and 25 on this. Okay, so both of our layers we have 25 both of our layers we have 25 frames on. Okay, I kind of love it. One thing we could do is make sure that the acorn slows down a little bit more before it hits its spot where it stays, just so it doesn't seem like it's like stop. I want it to like slow into it. Let's see. Alessandra says, Jake, my fiance heard me say your name and he was like, Jake from State Farm? Ha ha ha. Oh, Jake. Jake from State Farm? Infinity says, to the White House. Ibrahim says, so cute. Infinity says, adorable. Oh, I'm so glad. To the White House, adorable. Sorry, I slurped a little bit. That was accidental. Jake says, you wouldn't believe how many times I've heard that, Alessandra. How many times have you heard Clue references? Mr. Green with a wrench in the library? That's what I would assume. And Jake says, this animation looks fantastic, Anna. Thank you. I hope it's going to work out in the long run. I think as long as we have a stable base, we are on a good place. Hey, rhyming? Doesn't really work, but whatever. Okay, so if we want to slow down acorn, what am I saying? Acorn. We need more frames, more choppy. What is it called? What am I trying to say here? Luckily, because we have the repeats of the acorn being in place, I can really add some frames in there. So let's see if... Not bad. Not bad. We could slow down the beginning a little bit. I mean, is that bad? kind of like that. It feels kind of like you can hear it in your head. Like imagine an acorn rolling on like a wooden ground or something where it's like, I don't know how to make that sound because I can't. But oh, Jake says only like once actually, which is disappointing. Well, let's make more references. I've always wanted to be Miss Peacock or Miss White or any of the characters, honestly. Colonel Mustard, I could see me being that. I am very much in love with the movie Clue, so let's reenact it. Should that be our Halloween special this year? See, this is something I've been thinking about for a while, is Ryan Selvey has holiday specials. One of the upcoming ones is, of course, the holiday of Hallows Eve. So, since last year, I've basically been like, what do we want to do? Last year was so much fun. Anthony and I did an entire skit where we came up on a haunted mansion and were kidnapped by a goo monster that eventually killed us. Slime monster? I think we were calling it slime. Anyways, if you haven't seen that, you should definitely check it out. I believe it's still on Ryan Selvey's Behance and YouTube, and it was a blast. And obviously, it's like a compilation with a lot of other creators, so there's so much to see there. Um, Jake says the Acorn Movement looks great. Great movie. Lol. Anthony can be Professor Plum. Why is he Professor Plum? I wonder. I always think of him as like a Mr. Body type, or not Mr. Body. Who's the Tim Curry's character, the butler? I feel like he's running the show. That's Anthony. Alessandra says, where is Anthony, by the way? Ha ha ha. He's taken a step back from the stream. He's working on work stuff. He's actually very busy this week, so send good vibes to him. He's crunching a little bit. But yeah, it's gonna be me solo for a while just because he wants to concentrate on work, and that's absolutely wonderful for him. I want him to what am I saying? There we go. I want to make sure that he gets all the things he wants to do done. And we all wish him the best of luck. Beep. Okay, so I'm going to just fill in this gap real quick. Not with the pencil brush. Beep, bop. Which we can figure out actually what kind of brushes we want to use, what kind of textures are the best to use in this case. I do love the scratchy textures because they do, like, when you repaint stuff, they become a really nice kind of movement within the shape. However, I'm not sure if I want the edges to be this scratchy texture. I like the interior, but the edges are a little bit much to me. Well, there's only 2 frames in there. Interesting. Yeah, we could do 3. Once more into the breach. And I want to add more leaves in here. I don't want it to just be like one massive color. I want it to be individual leaves of different colors and stuff like that. We could really make it super fun and like inviting. Or we could make it dark and moody. I mean, we could make it anything. Art is completely open. Infinity says, always loved the Clue game. Colonel Mustard was my favorite. I also had a thing with mustard, but I always loved mustard. So yeah. Also, I use a lot of mustardy colors, so. And James liked to point out that I wear mustard as well. Or yellows, golds, whatever. Alessandra says, in other words, he's making the dough. Lol. Good for him. Inflation is no joke. Absolutely. I encourage anybody who can make that dough to put the dough in the oven and make some bread. Please. And Jake says, Wadsworth. Thank you. Wadsworth. Also Miss Scarlet. Love her. Okay, I kind of love it. I kind of want more of a gap. Maybe I'll just shorten the paw coming out animation. What if we deleted this? Or maybe it's this. Let's try deleting this and see what we think. Yeah, I kind of like how sudden that is. It goes from like to yeah, I think that's good. But now we need to add one more frame to equal 25. So, excuse me. I don't know if that was an excuse me. That was kind of like a hiccup. Not sure. Cute. I love it. Okay, so to make this what I want it to look like, let's start with the acorn. That's what I'm most excited to draw. So we're just going to go frame by frame here and work on the acorn, I guess. Again, I'm no expert, but whoop, that's the wrong brush. I'm going to decide like volume and form here, I guess. So, and I think the top of it's going to be the dark part. And really the ellipse here will be what determines the direction that our brains understand this being. Just gonna do two-tone at the mo. So the acorn body will be lighter and the acorn top will be that darker brown. Can you imagine it? All right, now I'm going to try to match that volume and everything. Not have it turn into an acorn like 10 sizes bigger or smaller. And this does not have to be perfect right now. I'm just trying it out. I feel like it did get a bit smaller over here. So what I'm going to do is just puff it out a little bit more. Yeah, small. That's closer. Beep. Now the circle is facing us. It's got a little foreshortening because it's facing away and we don't want it to feel like it's kind of profile to us. We want to feel like it's pointing away. Point away, point away, point away. Ah, where's Anthony with his love of Enya? Alessandra says, cute, I love it. Thank you. You know, we try here. This is definitely not going to be perfect the first time around, but perfection is not what we're aiming for. What are we aiming for? Having fun. You know, I've been thinking lately about like what new work I want to make and everything, and trying to find that direction that I feel really passionate about. And one of the things that came up was thinking about what kind of if someone were to come to me and say like, oh yeah, we would love to hire you for this, but we need to see more of that work in your portfolio to know that you can do it, what kind of project would I be like really excited about if somebody came to me and said that? Like, for example, if somebody said, oh yeah, we would love for you to like paint the cover of this book, but I've never done a real book. I guess I've done some mock-up book covers. I'm just saying as an example. An example. So I would love to hear what you guys have as like those kind of goals. If somebody came to you and said, hey, I want you to direct the next big film for your favorite studio or something, or I would love for you to, I guess a better example for me is something that I actually want to do is like, we want you to write a book. I really want to write. And so having that happen. I feel like there are certain things in life that you do because you want to and they're kind of frictionless and it just works. Then there are other things that you're like, I want to do that, but I maybe what I really want is to have already done it. And now beforehand, I don't want to do the work of it. And I wonder sometimes if that should dissuade me from doing something or if that means that I just have a mental hang up that I need to get past about it. But anyways, my mental hang up is definitely about writing. I feel like I know there are multiple steps that I need to take. Like I really want to get into a writing group, have a critique group that I can bounce ideas and roughs off of and all that kind of stuff. And yet I still just don't reach out. I don't try to make it happen. That's where that friction is. And so I wonder, did I like just want to have written a book, and once I have, I'll just be like, well, that's over? Or is it actually something that I'll stick with? This is just basically repeating the same acorn again and again now. Which, yes, I can duplicate frames to do it, but also if I want it to have that slight shift, the boiling line technique, then I gotta draw it all, baby. Alright, let's look at how it looks so far. I like how they definitely get rougher as I go along. Like, that first one was much more, like, finished. But honestly, I like the unfinished look. Astor Robin says, big mood. Hey, and JTam says, hello. How are you, JTam? What's up? Having a good day? Infinity says, hey, Anna, have you ever done animation for a book trailer? I didn't even know it was a thing, and it seems like a great way to get attention for a new book. I have heard of book trailers. Kendall has very much offered to make book trailers for me in the past, and so when I make my book, Kendall's gonna be on it. And I hope that Kendall's doing book trailers soon, if not now. But it sounds like a really fun thing, and especially if you like get to read the book beforehand, it just feels like one of those you could really sink your teeth into a project that is loved and put your love into it too. So fun. All right, just 5 more frames. Oops, that's the wrong one. At least it's easy, right? I know it can get really tedious doing these again and again and again, but I promise the payoff is much more worth it than the work is hard. The work isn't hard, it's just tedious. It's fine. You can survive anything for 10 seconds, right? Alex says, yes, I started a writing critique group recently, and so many of our conversations about how you have to make the work before you can get hired for different work. It's a lot of work for more work. Ha 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 ha. Exactly. Alex, are you open to another person in your writing critique group? Because I feel like we're kind of doing similar things, and I wonder about like how to find those people who are your peers in the industry or whatever. And I want to make children's books. I want to make them from the ground up. I have many ideas. I write them out, and sometimes I get somewhat close to feeling like I could show this to someone. But it is something that holds me back, is the feeling of like nobody's giving me feedback on this. I'm not like editing it actively. And yes, I definitely ask James and Anthony and Corinne, my friend who also writes. I ask them for feedback every once in a while, probably once in a blue moon, but it's not like a regular habit. It's not something I do for work. It's like not even a hobby regularity. You know what I mean? And if I'm gonna become a writer, I gotta write. That's intimidating, man. As is everything in life. Not everything. Some things are not intimidating, like puppy dogs. Man, I love puppy dogs. Let's see. Infinity says, I think all artists understand work, 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 work. Oh my gosh, Alex says, Anna, I would freaking love to have you. Let me reach out to the group and shoot you an email. Oh my gosh, we haven't met in a hot minute and we're wanting to meet again. Guys, could this be like a first step? Like, could I actually be doing something right now? Could streaming change my life? Thank you, Alex. That's awesome. And absolutely no pressure, obviously. If they don't want another member or whatever, anything, don't even worry about it. See, this is another thing, is like, I'm awkward. So I hope that it's like a whole trust, I feel like, to have a critique group that you actually listen to. Because if somebody tells you something and you're like, oh, I disagree, like, how do you work through that? I guess it's just like any other relationship, you just gotta do it. But again, Alex, I have never been in some kind of group before like that. So if you have any tips, tricks, etiquette, anything like that, I would be very curious to hear. The only thing I've ever been a part of, and what made me very, very much want to be a part of a group like that, is I went to SCBWI and I went to one of the writing roundtables, I suppose it would be, and it was a bunch of other writers, and then also I believe it was an editor from one of the big publishers, and she gave us feedback on all of our work. But we also, basically, you just print out your manuscript or whatever you're working on for everyone at the table, a copy for everyone. So we all read it together, and then everybody gives their feedback. And yes, the editor was part of it, but everybody else who was looking for feedback on their work gave really good feedback too. And it just felt so productive in the best sense. Like, wow, I got more done in like 20 minutes than I would in 10 months, just thanks to you guys. That's the kind of feeling I love. And it's not necessarily like they're telling me, okay, this is like what you should change, and this is horrible, and this is great, and all that stuff. They're just asking questions a lot of times where it's like, oh yeah, so what's the motivation of this character? And it just makes you think. And sometimes the questions are obvious, and sometimes they are not, where it's like, oh, you actually did just unlock something that I had totally not thought about, which is awesome. Robin says you are 100% doing something this very moment. Thank you. I really needed that reassurance to know I was doing something. Ibrahim says most of artists are awkward. Haha. I think most people are awkward, but artists are a special group, I have to say. I think we're more forgiving of awkwardness than almost any other group, at least the artists that I like to keep around. Maybe that just says something about the company I keep, because I look for people who will forgive me for being awkward. And I love them for it. And never apologize to me for being awkward, because you're already forgiven. Okay? I don't care. Actually, I love awkward people. This is something Corinne and I talk about often. Corinne's always like, I'm the most awkward person. And I'm like, no. And no, you aren't, honestly. Me. So awkward. But also, it depends on your definition, I have to say. Sometimes it's like, oh, a truly embarrassing situation happened. Not necessarily your fault, just it did. And then there's other people who are like, oh, I said that and it wasn't worded perfectly. I'm so awkward. And it's like, no, you're just a person. Nobody words things perfectly. Canadian Pulse, what's up? Says, thank you for your kindness. YouTube is a big deal. Everyone is here now. Well, yes, Behance is down today, apparently. I wonder if it's back up. Nope, still down. Oh, it loaded. Actually, it's up. Am I live on there? I'm curious. I'm going to my page just to check. Oh, everything's unloaded. That's very interesting. Look at this. Like, I have no picture. There's no banner. That's very weird. No live streams. Interesting. Well, Behance, you're having issues, but it looks like you're getting somewhere. Infinity says, I understand the feedback thing. I self-published a kid's book and sold a couple and gave a couple away, but still haven't received any real feedback. Real feedback. Feedback is so important, I feel like, and it's something that I would need a lot of, I think, to feel like I'm ready to do anything with. I know that I don't know if I could ever do self-publishing. You are very strong, Infinity, for doing that, because I feel like it's a really powerful tool to get your work out into the world, but it's also such a burden in terms of like you're doing everything for it. You're making the entire book, which is like, yes, ultimate control, but also one of the benefits, massive benefits of having a team is you have a team. You can lean on others. They can help you with so many things. So more power to you for self-publishing, seriously. Canadian Pulse says outstanding. Thank you. Ibrahim says Behance works fine here. That's weird. Maybe it's a country thing. I'm not sure. But it is definitely down for me. So thanks for coming here. Alright. Catfoot, it's becoming a thing. I'm connecting it up here. Hopefully that works in the long run. Honestly, I should probably do... Ooh. I should be probably doing even less work on these, like each frame as I can, because I really like it when it looks really loose. But too loose and it's like, but sometimes that's cool. Just a little bit, like a, you know? Just can't let it go on too long. Canadian Bull says, wholesome goodness. Oh, Infinity says the main issue I've seen is excuse me, sorry, that was a real burp. The main issue I've seen is marketing. I suck at that. Don't we all? I honestly don't think there's a solid way of marketing unless you have $5 million and like do a Super Bowl ad or something. I swear. Because it seems like even with traditional publishing, a lot of the marketing is missed. Like, they don't seem to put a ton into it as far as I've seen. Now, that is from a somewhat novice perspective, so let me know if there is some, like, amazing marketing that I'm missing. But it just feels like not a ton. And a lot of it comes down to the author or illustrator or whatever, like, creator of the project. Going out to like libraries and doing meetings and like really promoting their work. All right, let's see. Let's see if this works. I feel like it works all the way until that little paw takes it back, and then the last frame is just kind of like maybe this one needs to be further in. Yeah, I think that's it. We're gonna erase out some of this side. And should the... I think there should be like a leaf that comes out right here. Basically just erasing into it to make the leaves happen. Whoa. Alright, let's see it now. And then... Okay, honestly, not mad. The leaves are too busy. The leaves are all over the place. So what I think we're gonna do next is concentrate on the leaves a little bit. I kind of like how rough the acorn is. I'll add little things like little toe pad things to the cat and everything. Canadian Pulse says your awkwardness is acceptable and no need to apologize. Oh yeah, I'm not apologizing. You're free to be you. Thank you. Alessandra says, me too, I sucked at marketing. It's so expensive to market yourself and with websites and stuff. Seriously. Canadian Pulse says, your compassion is beautiful. Thanks for the shout outs. You know, thank you. You're being very complimentary today. Thank you, Canadian Pulse. And yes, Alessandra, it is heck of expensive, and I wouldn't say, personally, I would not put that on you. I would not say, like, you guys are bad at marketing. I'd say being good at marketing is basically luck and money. That's what I think. And I guess the part of it that, like, is most knowable is audience. Trying to find your audience. Where do they live? Who are you marketing to? But even that is very nebulous. So I would not say you should, like, you know, learn a lesson or put yourself down in any way, because first of all, you don't deserve that kind of treatment. And second of all, marketing is just weird. This being told to you by someone who's done zero marketing of her own. So, I mean, take it with a big fat grain of salt. Let's see, does graphite work for this? Let's see if the brush pen. Okay, I kind of like the brush pen because it gives a crisp edge, but it's not like that rake grit texture, which is like a lot. Alright, so I can be willy-nilly with all the edges except for the ones that are near the cat paw. I can, of course, edit the cat paw so that it's not like it's not just up to the bushes. It can be a give and take, but I think what I'll do is just work with what I got so far. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. Infinity says, yeah, the audience totally astounds me. Canadian Pulse says, we're doing the best we can amidst everything. Truly. Infinity says, like, I don't want to have to go name them and say what they eat for breakfast and name their pets. I just want them to see my book. Haha. How would you know? You don't have the access to the stream of data that they collect on all of us, right? Yeah, that's the thing, is it's so difficult to just, I mean, how do you just know these things? You don't, right? So to find your core audience, there, I'm sure, some techniques that somebody's doing. I don't know them. I remember Andre Larau gave us a talk at the beginning of the residency about this kind of thing, where it's like, find your market. And he was saying stuff to me that I never even thought of. He came up with like, oh yeah, so you're doing children's books, so you might want to target mommy bloggers or something like that. And I was like, what? My audience is children. He's like, no, who's buying the books? And I'm like, I'm dumb. Yeah, so the parents, finding places that they talk about books for their children, stuff like that. Like, oh, I recommend this book. It's got a really good message. The artwork's beautiful. My kid was totally engaged. Blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm so enveloped in the world of the art that I do think of the children first. Think of the children! But that is definitely not the same. You gotta like turn your brain to a different mode when marketing. So it's like, oh yeah, I am making this like deep psychological horror romance mystery movie or something like that. And then I'm like, who do I market to? Well, who likes psychological horror romance mystery? That could be a lot of people. And also, some people who might not like that would possibly like this movie. Like, it's just so hard to find exactly the right market. Yeah, I'm gonna have a few flyaways. Just a few little guys. He's just a little guy. Alright, now I can use this edge to do that boiling line dealio. Get a little bit closer, closer, closer. But you leave me feeling frozen. This is when, what you call it? Onion skinning comes in clutch. It's where it lets you see the other layers, so I can pretty much match it up. And don't worry, even if you match it really closely, it'll never match exactly. So you'll still get that wiggle, 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 wiggle. Let's see. J Tam says, cute little acorn. Is there a theme you have to this piece? Get that acorn. That's my theme. Get that acorn. No, I don't really have a theme. It's more like a moment that I thought of and thought was cute. And again, it was just because my niece found an acorn at the park and called it baby. And I was like, that's cute as heck. I need more acorns in my work. Once again, inspired by the youth. The extreme youth. The 2-year-olds. Tap that market. How do you get to them? I guess advertise during Bluey. I saw somebody say the other day, by the way, if you don't know Bluey, it's a animated television show with very cute dogs. And I saw a artist parent I know who was like, I gotta wait for my kid to go to sleep so I can binge watch the new season of Bluey. Made me laugh. I like it. I like people who are fans of animation that are designed for kids, but are also good for them. Jake says, gotta go. Have a lovely evening. See ya, Jake. Thank you so much for being here. You're amazing. J-Tam says, message retracted. Everybody, calm down. Alright, so once we have this silhouette, we can go into the interior and start delineating some different leaves. I'm curious whether I should do it with color or with line. I think we should test it out each way. And then we can just do 3 frames of it. This is not going to be as long as the other parts, because the other parts are actual motion. This is just the boiling line. Zoop, 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 zoop. It's honestly very satisfying. This is like a coloring page in a coloring book. 10 out of 10, would recommend. Especially, I think what's frustrating with the repeat drawings is if you're having to do a lot of repeat strokes within the drawing. So I would recommend using a very opaque brush so you can just get it done in like one line. One and done. So it's not this struggle. And then you're like, all right, next one, struggle, struggle, struggle. Next one, struggle, struggle, struggle. Like, I love the pencil brush, but it does take a little too much pressure and repeat strokes to get down like a opaque line. Probably should have done it with this brush. Which, by the way, is the brush pen brush. Alright, let's look at this. Alright, it's a little less wild. I think... yeah, what I need to do is go into the Paw Animation. And I just want to draw over for a second what I'm thinking. Oh, okay. I'm just going to draw what I see. Come on, give me colors. There we go. So I want this line to... or, sorry, this leaf to be here. And then when we have the cat, I think it's something like this is like the other leaves that overlap with its paw. So, let's see if that holds true. Kind of. I wish it would pause. Pause. I'm never gonna get over that. Right there. So I could draw more accurately. I guess I should have done this before animating, but, you know. Golly. Okay. Oh, I can do it while it's animating. Oh, cool. Okay, it's getting a little a little glitchy because of that. But anyways, now I can match this with the animations, okay? So we can go in here. And just make sure this always matches up with what's going on. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Almost there. And this is a little bit thicker. Something like that. Alright. Yeah, I think that works. Now we also need, I think, the acorn to come out. Come out, wherever you are. Maybe it'll be, oops, from under here. Like that. So our first acorn. Should we have one more before it? Where it's like just barely showing. I wonder. Sorry, I'm not talking very much, but I'm thinking. Let's see. Oh yeah, don't forget to stretch. Okay. Alessandra says I gotta go back to my vacation. See you next week, Anna. I will catch the replay later. Have a good night. Have a great night, Alessandra. Thank you so much for joining us. And also remember to drink that margarita for all of us. Ibrahim says, Anna, don't forget to stretch. Oh my gosh, we're 20 minutes past monkey paws. Ooh, ah. All right, so this is a hand stretch that I'd like to lead you in. So, what we're gonna do is start by putting our arms straight out in front of ourselves, our hands to this, fingers to the sky, palms away, and then we're going to curl our fingers into what we call a monkey paw. Ooh, ah. Great job. And then we're going to put our fingers down, palms towards ourselves, and then curl our fingers in. Ooh, ooh, ah. Did you hear my hand actually cracked this time? That's crazy. I need to do more monkey paws. And then we're going to flip our hands out, palms away, and arm spaghetti. Fingers down, and then curl our fingers in. Ooh, ah. Good job. And then final pose, we're going to put our fingers to the sky, palms towards ourselves, and then we're going to curl them in. Ooh, ah, ah. Put them up, put them up. We just repeat these poses, holding for about a second each around 10 times so that we can get a nice stretch in our wrists. This is to hopefully prevent carpal tunnel syndrome and the effects of arthritis and things like that. Our hands do so much for us. Let's do a little bit for them. Take a mo. Also, it's a good time to just like get up and stretch a little bit. So I'm going to stand up. I'm going to close my eyes to give a break from the screens. Just to, oh yeah, Halloween shirt again. Give a good break to make sure that we aren't burning our eyes too much. There's also the 20-20-20 rule where I believe it's like every 20 minutes look 20 feet away for 20 seconds or something like that, right? Is that what it is? Somebody knows. Also, Kid Pen says, ooh, ooh, ah, thank you. I feel like that was personally for me. Monkey paws, monkey paws. Been sitting too much today. All right, so once we're done with those, we're gonna just gently shake out our hands to loosen them back up. Ooh, ooh, ah. And then I like to do a few shoulder stretches and neck stretches. So put your ear as high as you can on each side. Reach for the sky. We're going to flop over to the other side. Hello. And back again. And over again. And then we're going to look as far as is comfortable to each side. And then the other side. Back again. And again. Woo! Good stretch. Thank you so much for the reminder, Ibrahim. I feel like today has just gone by in a rush. So I feel like I keep rushing by. Not taking in all of the goodness. Kid Pen says, my drawing wrist can bend much. Oh, can't bend much. There we go. Because there's a cyst there, but I try. Is that... Oh, golly, I know the name of that. There's like a wrist cyst that's pretty common, like right there. And I believe it's just a buildup of fluid when it's like overused, right? Is that correct? I'm not sure. Let me know. And I saw that there are different treatments for it. One of the ones I saw on TikTok was just hitting it really hard until it ruptures, which is a little scary to me. But I also had a friend at work who had that happen to her, and it caused her a lot of pain. I don't like that. No, 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 don't pain. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new layer. I'm going to turn it to soft light. Oop. Oh, there are my layers. Okay. And then I'm going to see if we can get some colors going that will delineate the leaves, or if it would be better to do it with lines. So I'm just going to do small test patches to see what we like. So here's some blue. I also kind of have, I guess, the leaves pointing towards the center. I don't know if that's the best way to do it. It's just kind of my default way that I did it. But I might come back and readdress that sometime. Trying to make it kind of line up with the silhouette that we have. That's some really big leaves. I want a lot of size variety, so should just start adding that in now. All right, and then we go in with a secondary color. Let's go for the acorn color actually and see what it does. Interesting. Interesting. I could also do multiple layers of soft light or multiply. That could have a really cool effect, honestly. Yeah, I might try that. So let's try one more layer. Turn it to soft light. I could also do different effects on them. Each one of the effect layers can also be animated. They all have these frames down here at the bottom in the center, so you can just keep going. Kid Pen says, yup, it appeared when I was in art school lugging around heavy figure drawing stuff. Oof, it got smaller luckily, so I try not to agitate it. Dang, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry that you have to deal with that. This could be a fun way of doing like overlapping leaf shapes. Imagine this, but like moving. In fact, let's try it. To give it a true test. Come on. There we go. Why does this only show that one? Oh, there it is. It popped into place. Okay. So then... I'm doing this kind of messily, so it's definitely not important to get all the shapes perfect, but... Okay, so that's kind of what it would look like. I think this is an interesting novel way of doing it. It's a little abstract, which I don't mind. In fact, I kind of like it. But we'll see if it's strong enough to carry, or if it's maybe too distracting. Maybe it'll be too much. Not sure. The other test I want to do real quick is line test to see if, like, drawing a few lines for indicated leaves, but doing the boiling line method with it would make it look better. So here's option number 1. What I like about this is also the scratchiness of that underlayer comes through still. It's definitely not lining up perfectly with the paw, but again, I think I'm going to just go in and edit the paw to fit whatever we end up animating for the bush, so don't worry about that too much. This is very cute. I'm enjoying. I wonder if we should have a background color. I'm thinking, of course, of like gold. Just to try it out. Whoa, that's intense. Still pretty intense, but let's see. Yeah, it's a little too, I don't know, drab. Which is interesting because I feel like it's a lively color, but maybe put against the green, it feels a little bit too much like, it kind of reminds me it reminds me of when there were a lot of forest fires over the summer, that golden glow that it put over everything. But we can always, whoa, change it up. Kind of like blue, if it was less saturated and lighter. That's pretty cute. Keep it in mind. It's fine. All right. Kid Pen says it looks cool, or that looks cool. I don't know exactly what you're referring to yet because it's been a minute, but thank you. I appreciate it regardless. Okay, so I'm going to turn these 2 experimental layers off, and I'm going to make 1 new layer, and we are going to do a line test. I am thinking a dark green, but kind of blue. Yeah, I think that works. All right, so let's see here. What would I do? Butts, just a bunch of butts. And honestly, I could do like I did for the other one, just 1 drawing of the leaves and then have the under part, the painting, be moving. Whoa. Perhaps? I don't know if this is the best test. I'm not loving it yet, but maybe that's just because of the shapes I'm doing. Whoa, wrong brush, bro. Come on. Give me the pencil. I want the pencil. Kid Pen says, the animation. I always dig an animation with texture. Ah, thank you! Yes, I also very much dig animations with texture. I love all animation, honestly. James and I are rewatching some Adventure Time, and it's just so good. Like, the experimental animation on that show is kind of unparalleled. I feel like so many of the episodes, they just take complete creative liberty and are like, yeah, we're gonna do this. And I'm like, I'm in. Also, we recently rewatched the James Baxter episode, and if you don't know, James Baxter is an animator who does amazing work, and also plays a horse character in the show. And so, whenever there's like a an episode about that character, it seems that they get the animator James Baxter to work on the animation, and it just looks so fluid and lovely. Honestly, it kind of holds it down. It kind of makes this feel like a solid bush rather than this moving thing. However, is it stronger than this? Hmm. Questions, questions. What do you guys think? Is there a preference that you have, line or color? Because these are the colors. Like you can see the soft light effect that this has, which is great. I think it looks really cool. I'm wondering if it fits for this particular GIF. Or do you prefer, or does this just work better for this application, a line effect? I'm not necessarily saying this line drawing because I don't really like the drawing, but I am curious if the line effect could work for this better. Infinity says, I kind of like the colors better. Astro Robin is asking, can I see the lines again? Yes, you may. Here they are. I think if I did lines, I would just do one layer of them rather than making them boiling line. You know what could be fun? I'm gonna just do like a small different line test over here. Trying to make like multiple overlapping leaves and then like maybe doing a little bit of drawing. Imagine that, drawing. Crazy. But like creating a few layers. Could even put like lines down the center of the leaves. Yeah, I think I like that better than the previous technique. Does it look like a bunch of tongues going to you? Infinity says, both. Kid Pen says, color. Astro Robin says, I'd say they would both work if you made more frames to give them movement. Otherwise, the colors look better because they have the same kind of life the base color does. So yeah, I also like making them move, but the one thing I thought was the strength of keeping them still is just that they kind of hold, oh my gosh, brush. They hold down the animation a little bit. They make it feel more like a physical object rather than just like this kind of drifty thingy. At least in my mind, but of course you can disagree with me. What if I just said, of course you can agree with me? Of course, of course, of course, of course. Alright, let me finish this little indulgent test. Bigger. Again, I want a lot of size variation in these leaves. Variegation, variation. Alright, now, if it moves underneath that... Now it does feel a little too stagnant to me. Darn it, you said it, now I feel like it. Infinity says, colors with line on one side possibly would achieve both. Line on one side. You're saying like change technique midway through? That would be insane. Robin said, would you be opposed to taking the animation away from the green block of color? See how it looks? So the green block of color just being one frame of it. Let's see. Can I do that? Copy frame? New layer? Paste layer. Done. Now turn off animation. What do you think? Infinity says, lines and color like an outline. Alright, well, first of all, let's see. Pause. So I really don't care for the drawing on the left and middle of this, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. No more for you. Close lasso. Erase. Deselect. Now, turn these back on. These puppies. And we draw over them to see if we like that. Whoops. Already messed up. No! Messing up all over the place. That's correct. That's incorrect. Ugh. There we go. Sometimes, you know, when your hand just goes crazy. You know that feel? I've got that feeling. Woohoo! That my hand is going crazy. Sorry. Just had to have an outburst there for a mo. Here, this is what I want. That's what I want. The best things in life are free. But you can give them to the bus and bills. I want money. That's what I want. Yeah, yeah, like that? Yeah. Okay, play. Does it look like a tongue to anyone else every once in a while with the cat paw coming out? It's like, bleh. I don't know. Oh, Ibrahim says I gotta go. It's nice to finally catch up with the stream again. See you. Thank you so much for being here, Ibrahim. Sorry I didn't talk as much, but it is lovely to see you, and I hope that you have a lovely day. And also sorry that Behance is down. Kid Ben says, I like the bush animating. World feels like it's alive, like the wind. But if you prefer the still lines, then yeah, keep the bush still too. Still having a few leaves move looks good too. So yeah, this is like if the bush overall isn't moving, but the color on top of it is. Feels a little bit like they're waving in some kind of wind. And then the other option is with the whole thing animating. It's a lot of movement, man. It's a lot of movement. Maybe I can calm down the scratches. Do you want us to calm down the scratches? Questions, all of them valid. Man, this might be one that I have to come back to and like really look at. I feel like there are just so many options for what could move and what shouldn't. I'm very happy with what we've gotten done in terms of like the motion animation. What I'm going to do at the mo is Are you the paw? Yeah, there we go. I want to put little definitive, what do you call these? Separators of the paw. I want separators of the paw. Just simple ones. Which one am I on? Oh no. There we go. Something like that. That paw shape could probably be finagled much more to be smoother. But again, that's just kind of like fine tuning. Let's see. Infinity says, oh, Kid Pen says, ooh, oh, just having a few leaves moves look good. It looks good. Infinity says, yes, the scratches are what's distracting, but maybe just slower. Robin says, yes, less scratches. Infinity says, the animation feels like the cat moving around in there. Oh, interesting. Kid says, I'm trying to figure out a more consistent art style for children's books, and the lines or no lines issue keeps popping up. I say you can change lines and no lines. I think the most important things that define your artwork are not necessarily in those two categories. I would say much more like shapes, character features, theming overall, maybe even use of composition and lighting are much more important than line or no line. One way I did get around that kind of issue for me as well, because I, of course, everybody has that kind of conundrum, but what I kind of settled on as a solution, quote unquote, and I break this all the time, so it's not really a hard and fast rule, is I got a nice textured brush and I would go in and I would paint the character or scene or whatever. And then whenever I felt like, wait here. Whenever I felt like there was a different material, I would do a different color. But then whenever inside of those materials I felt like there was unexplored or unexplained things going on, like a clothing, like fabric wrinkles or something, I would go in with just some lines and I would wrinkle it up. I would give it like a cuff or something and like buttons, that kind of stuff. So it would be on the exterior, flat shape with just paint, no lines. And then on the interior of the shape, I would explain things with line. Also, one of my favorite things happened to be cutting into a thing, like erasing out and using that as a line. It's fun. But anyways, that was just one kind of workaround where I got to use both of them. But I know a lot of people feel like if they use lines in one part of the image, they have to use them everywhere. I don't think that necessarily is true. Another thing I really liked doing, I still like doing it to some effect, is sketching something and getting like an idea for what I wanted out of it. And I usually like my sketches. And I think there's a certain charm to sketch for sure. And then I would color on a different layer underneath it. And then I wouldn't get rid of the sketch. I would color the line and I would just, let's see, I'm trying to make an example out of what I'm doing, but it's not flowing exactly how I want. So I would color behind the sketch. And then at a certain point, when I felt like I wanted to add more detail and I couldn't do that underneath, I would add a layer above it and I would just start painting on top of it. And wherever the line disappeared, it disappeared. I just let it happen. I was just like, you know, this feels natural. This feels good. And you know, you add the little sparkles in the eyes and you're done. If it would let me get white. There we go. Wow. Wow. Did. So anyways, that's a few different techniques if you want them. Come and claim them. Select multiple. Boop, boop. And delete. Delete. Boom. You did. All right. Kid says, that's good advice. Thank you. My shapes and proportions are still inconsistent too, so that's probably more of an issue then. I would say so, yeah. I mean, you don't have to be exactly the same every single time. What you want it to be is if there was if all of your images were laying on a table next to other artists' images, could somebody take them all out and put them together and be like, this book is this person's artwork? So just try to think in terms of like, does it feel like a cohesive grouping rather than I have to do this, this, and this? Because you can do wildly different things and they can still feel like your work. Also, you're always going to give your own flavor to it, so I wouldn't worry too much about it being completely consistent. It's kind of like shape language. If you've ever seen, I believe it was, who was it who broke that down? There's an art book about Cinderella, I believe, where they broke down, one of the Disney artists did the shape language for the movie. Was that? I think it was Mary Blair. Maybe I'm misremembering that. But anyways, the breakdown of the shape language made it so obvious that this movie was different from other Disney movies that they had made. And you might not notice it on the surface, but having it pointed out made it very obvious. So maybe if you are looking for a way to kind of zero in a little bit on consistency, give yourself a project where you're going to say like, it's this palette, it's this shape language, it's this theming or story or whatever it's going to like be held together by. And those prompts will by default produce something that's consistent, because as long as you're working within those bounds, they're going to look like they go with each other. I would just not make it too confining, because then it gets boring. But loose prompts can be very, very helpful and honestly create a lot of new ideas because you're creative problem solving. Like, oh, well, here are my limitations, so I'm going to go wild in this area because I can't go wild in that area. Suddenly I don't have to think about color because I have a limited palette. So now I'm going to go wild with shape because I want to be creative here somewhere, and color's not going to be the place for it. So kind of unlocks that part of your mind. Just getting rid of some of the scratches here with the right grit brush still, so it's still got grit, but it's just not so wild. I'm gonna rein it in here and see if that helps. Play off. That's much better, I'd say. I still feel like there's this big chunk over here. No, it's still there. Is it this one? Yeah, it was that one. Yeah, now it feels like just a little bit of noise. I could still probably rein it back a little bit. Anyways. Let's see here. Astro Robin says, oh yeah, Mary Blair, you write. I write? Oh, so glad. Kid Ben says, I think they would absolutely not be able to pick my art from a pile. Haha, 1 minute it's realistic and the next it's Animal Crossing. But it shall be my goal. That's a great goal. Yeah, I think that's huge. I think you've at least identified what makes it feel like it's inconsistent, which is good. That sounds like the world it lives in. So maybe choosing a little bit of your world. Like I remember, before the Adobe Creative Residency, I was very much more a realistic painter. I mean, not realism as in terms of like facts. I love magic, and magic has always been in my work. I've been very glowy, but just I guess it's called naturalistic, which means much closer to human proportions and things like that. Kind of think like magic cards a little bit, and that was kind of my wheelhouse for a while. I really enjoy it. I mean, I still enjoy painting in that style. I love it, but it is not what I want to make money off of. It's so time consuming. It's really a labor of love, which also children's books are, of course, but they are a very different mode of my brain painting. And so once I knew I was going for children's books, I suddenly had that, okay, not naturalistic, Animal Crossing. So yeah, I went for what I really liked in more cutesy styles, I guess, for lack of a better term. I love cute stuff so much. I think it deserves way more respect than it gets in every way. But I also feel like it's there are certain factors that limit it in a good way. Like those prompts I was talking about, where it's like most of the shapes are going to be pretty round, most of the colors are going to be pretty saturated. I mean, you don't have to. There are definitely artists who make desaturated, sharp images, and they're still children's booky. But just in on a whole, I'm just saying what I liked about it and what I chose to keep. So it was really nice to have that kind of limiting parameter. Every once in a while, I still reach out of it and I do something that's different. Um, and that's just part of being an artist, man. I feel like you're always gonna break out. Parameters are good until they're not. Ooh, Kid Pen says, "Oh, I saw Mary Blair Gallery in San Francisco a few years ago. She's so aspiring." Yes, she is. She's amazing. Her art is fantastic, and also when you hear about the context of her journey and everything, it is very inspiring, and I look up to her very much. Okay, so I think I really like the colors. I like the effect of the dappling, but also mixed with the line, honestly, because the line gives it an interesting mix, especially right, I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, but like right here, no, that's the wrong color. And brush. Boop, 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 boop. So right here where the colors overlap, and then the lines are kind of a counter overlap where they're like, no, 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 here's where the leaf actually is. That kind of stuff makes my brain happy. So I think I'm gonna go with that. I'll go with you. Go with you. So yeah, I think what I'll do is draw some more leaves in this style because I do like the overlap like this. I think it's fun and it also makes it feel like sketchy, which I don't usually have a sketchy feel to these, so fun. So what I'm gonna do is probably keep drawing these. I don't know if I'll do multiple layers of it. Maybe I'll test it a little bit. But what I do think is going to happen, which is fun, is I will probably try to add motion to some of the leaves as the paw goes back in. So that'll be a fun challenge. Probably for next time because we only have 5 minutes left, so I don't want to overload my plate right at the end here. This is another thing that I've kind of picked up in my style recently that I like is adding emphasis shadows against things. This is definitely from Mike Mignola as a reference. We got some Hellboy books and I've just absolutely loved them so much. And James has studied them very closely to learn how he blocks in shadows like over a whole character and scenery and everything composition wise, how he creates these black blocks, ink blocks, whatever you want to call them. He is a master at that. And one thing I just lightly picked up, not as in-depth researchy, but still just as valid, is just adding little emphasis shadows under things. It makes me happy. So I just like do 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 do. And with something like this that's kind of pattern based, I feel like it really creates a sense of depth in a satisfying way. Let me know if you agree. What was the last gallery you guys went to? I'm curious. Astro Robin says, "Oh man, it's been too long since you went to a gallery." I agree. Can't even remember. I feel like maybe it was one down in San Francisco also. Do we only go to galleries when it's in San Francisco? Apparently. Um, but there was one, funnily enough, that had some Mike Mignola. I think it was some of his work, but also it was like a tribute to his work. So I remember that one when we went and visited some family. But other than that, let's see. Golly. Yeah, it has been a while. Been a while. So, by the way, as we're ending stream here, I just wanted to shout out that the shop will be opening soon to patrons. So if you want to join the Patreon, next month is a really good opportunity for that because I think it's going to be a September launch, which is coming up, and I still have a lot to do. It is going to be a soft launch, just so if I do make any mistakes, it is only a smaller group of people who are impacted by it, but I promise if I do make any mistakes, I will make it up to you very much. So it's a special kind of time with the shop, and there will be future opportunities as well. There is no pressure here to spend money. I understand. But also, yeah, I just am very excited about this. If you have any questions about what we're going through to make it happen, let me know because it's fresh on my mind and I can answer those questions to the best of my ability right now. And maybe in the future I'll make a video about that because I love those videos. They have been very, very useful to me, especially during this process. Anything else I should call out? If you want to sign up for this month's rewards, I am still currently working on the envelopes for this month. And, oh, sorry, I should say physical rewards. There are 2 tiers I have. So one of them is digital, one of them is physical. And if you want the physical rewards, sign up by the end of the month and you can get them. Big leaves. I love me a big leaf. No, I'll go from the top down. I think that's the best way to do it, personally. Let's see here. Infinity says, I went to a random gallery off interstate from a road trip the other day. You're on a road trip? That's awesome. It was a college of artists. Some very interesting pieces. That is too cool. I love seeing college art. Honestly, it's like some of the most refreshing stuff. I feel like there's an air of whimsy and experimentation. I got a graphic novel that was a compilation, an anthology of college students' work from PNCA a few years ago, and oh my gosh, so cool to see the stories they told. Let's see here. Kid says, oof, I'm tempted to say the Mary Blair one. Haven't been outside in a few years. Man, same. Seriously. Robin says, I think the last one I went to was the Florence Griswold Museum in Connecticut. Is that it? CT? To see a bug show. What? That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Infinity says it was the Appalachian Center for Craft at Tennessee Tech. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. I love Center for Craft kind of stuff. I'm gonna look up the Florence Griswold Museum because I need to know what a bug show is. Although I know a little bit about bug shows. Anthony went to the OMSI exhibit that was oh, I can't remember his name, but he does a lot of patterns with bugs and birds and things like that, and it's absolutely beautiful. This is just the museum, not necessarily the show. I want to know about this bug show. What kind of bug show you got? Show me the bugs, you bug shower. You can't just call people bug showers. Okay. Okay. All right. a few more leaves and then I'm gonna call it. Thank you so much for hanging out, you guys. You've been awesome, and also doubly awesome because you came over here to YouTube instead of the usual Behance, and I applaud you for it because that's just the way it has to go when a website's down. And you rolled with the punches. You were flexible. Good for you. That was something that took gusto, man. And let me tell you, you got lots of it. Beep, bop. Definitely gonna overlap a little leaf here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Alex says, yes, this was fun. Love the animation. Thank you so much. Oh, Jennifer Angus was the artist. Let me look up Jennifer Angus real quick. Jennifer! Ooh! Ooh! Cool! Oh my gosh. Wait. Oh my gosh. What a bug show. Oh my goodness. That is so cool. Oh my gosh, they're all little leaf bugs and beetles. Oh, that's so cool. Moths. Wow. So yeah, she kind of has that same feel of the other artist I was thinking of. However, much more poppy, at least in this piece, where it's like that really bright magenta pink. The other ones I saw were very much like against white, where it lets the bugs' colors come out. But I love this. It's just like a louder way of speaking with the bugs. Also, having them not necessarily in like a perfect pattern around here. That's really fun. Man, the world of bug art. Don't bogart the bug art, man. Kid says, thank you for streaming and all the style advice. This animation is looking great. Oh, thank you. Hey, let's take one last look at this. Now, it's not perfect by any stretch, but we can at least admire what we have. Whoop! Take that acorn back. Not your acorn, my acorn. Gib. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is probably scale up the paw overall and then make it work more smoothly. I really like the frames that we have, but not necessarily the form. And then also it disappearing behind the leaves. I think once the leaves are set, that will be much more easy to feel fluid. And then maybe I'll be able to like move some of the leaves to be like around the paw when it comes back in, or maybe it'll be like that kind of thing. But yeah, that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for sticking around. It's been a blast. I really enjoy animating in fresco. If you haven't checked it out yet, you should. And with that, I will bid you adieu. I will see you again next week, Wednesday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific. Let's see. Kid Pen says, thank you for streaming and all the style advice. Oh, yeah. And Infinity says, this was fun. Love the cat animation. And Robin says, is looking great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Have a great day. See you. Bye. And now it's time for the after party. Thank you for being so complimentary today. I am very sweaty. I'm gonna go sit in front of a fan probably and cool off for a while. Ooh, and I froze some coffee in the freezer, so I'm gonna go dig that out and chisel it with a spoon and eat it. Do you guys do that at all? Do you ever just want a cold thing that you chisel with a spoon and eat? I do. I crave it very, very much. There's a stage at which it's melting and it just becomes like the perfect slushy consistency, and it's just like probably the best thing in the world. But that's just me. I don't know about you, but that's me. I love cold drinks over hot drinks any day, even in winter. People are weird like that, including me. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.